Hey, whew, I'm literally sweating my butt off. I just got off the beach and I received some messages, some information. You may not know this about me because only a few people do, but I am a medium and a lot of my work and ideas are channeled. And there, I said it, I'm out of the closet. And a lot of times when I get those, the energy is really high. So I didn't want to take this home and wait a few days and record it the right way. I wanted to start giving you the content as it comes in because the energy feels different. It feels better. So anyway, so where I was going with this is I was taking my beach walk and I started thinking about love versus fear. Right? And you hear a lot of times from spiritual teachers and, you know, in all of the books you read, choose love, not fear, choose love, not fear. And I know that a lot of the women I work with, and I was like this too, would, you know, a lot of us are struggling with clarity. A lot of us are struggling with overwhelm and, you know, trying to make these dreams happen and get through all of the resistance that comes up. You feel very foggy. And it feels hard to make decisions. It feels like you may not make the right decision. You may be wrong. You may make a mistake. And you're just not sure which way to go. And when you're feeling stressed, that makes your intuition hard to read. So when you make a decision instead by getting clear on what the intention is for that decision, it makes things kind of fall together for you. Is that the right way to say that? It makes things come together for you. It helps bring you clarity and focus. So usually when someone asks how to make a decision, I would say, you know, get clear on the intention. So your intention, let's first start there before we get into love versus fear. So your intention is why you want to do something. Right? So if you are in business and you have this marketing idea or a social media post idea, right? You want to get clear on why you want to do it. What will it do for you? What will it do for your business? The same goes when you're trying to help someone. You know, I see a lot. You're trying to help someone, you can see what they're dealing with. They may not realize it yet. And you want to tell them, you may think it'll be helpful. You may think you need to point it out. It may be coming from a place of I told you so, but you always want to get clear on what your intention is. And that would be, how do I want this person to feel? How will this really help this person if I say it in this way? So it's really about getting that clarity around why you are doing something. Okay. So then what makes this even easier is getting clear on whether you're choosing from a place of love or fear. I'm seriously sweating. This is it's a really good detox. Okay. Is to really get clear on whether it's from love or fear. Okay. Because love begets love, fear begets fear. And I remember hearing this for the first time and I was like, what the fuck, love versus fear? I don't even get that. And it took me a while to grasp the concept. They make it sound so simple, but if you don't really understand what's going on, it makes it very hard to know what you're choosing. So first, if you're not sure, like I wasn't sure, I want you to understand what that means. So when you are choosing from a place of love, when I say love, I mean unconditional love. There are no conditions. It's pure, unadulterated acceptance. Okay? It feels good. It feels good for everyone involved. When you are choosing from a place of fear, fear begets fear. It doesn't feel good. It feels like you're trying to get away from something. It feels like you're trying to prevent something from happening. And it's very hard to feel ease in your life. It's very hard to feel relaxed in your life. And it's very hard to feel inspired and to create from a place of inspired action if you're choosing from fear. So once you get clear on your intention, you also want to get clear, am I deciding this out of love or out of fear? And here's an example of that. So if you are, here's an example from my own life, actually. So all through high school, actually all my life, I wanted to be a star, okay? And I didn't totally know what that meant. I knew it had something to do with what Madonna was doing. And I loved dancing, was my number one, still is. Singing was a close second. I didn't know if I wanted to do acting or what, but I just loved being a star. I loved performing. I loved being on stage. And I also loved fashion, right? Because that went along with it. For me, that was a way of expressing myself. And I didn't know all of this at the time. It's just what I liked to do as a child and, you know, throughout my life. And so there were some struggles with that throughout my life, which is a different video. But for today, as I got out of high school, I wanted to move to New York. That was my lifelong dream. I just wanted to move to New York. You know, I pictured like the whole Flashdance starving artist thing. And you know, that's what I did. I saved up my money and moved to New York as quickly as I could. I stayed in Philly for a little bit first, but then I went to New York, the Big Apple. So as I was doing this, as I was becoming a star, I realized that, number one, New York City is really fucking expensive. And I was 19, I think, at the time. And so I was working all kinds of odd jobs. Like I was a cocktail waitress. I was a cigarette girl, which was actually kind of fun because I could wear these crazy outfits and just sell cigarettes at these clubs. I was all kinds of different things. I was a waitress for like one day at several restaurants because I always hated it and quit. I was like a receptionist, kind of like an admin assistant for this guy 2 days a week in this office. And it's actually like an apartment that was an office, but I digress. Okay, so anyway, so I was doing this, and I did this for maybe, I don't know, 8-9 months. I had roommates. I didn't know anyone in the city. And I wasn't really meeting anyone. And really, like looking back, that was such a short span of time, but it felt so long to me because financially it was such a struggle. And I didn't know how to make my dream happen. I didn't know how to be a star. It's like, okay, well, I'm here. No one has discovered me yet, right? So I was trying things like, you know, acting classes, dance classes, just to try and put myself in that world, but it wasn't clicking for me. And I couldn't find, you know, a way into that world or what to do. And my fear was building, right? It's hard enough going for what your dreams are. That is one of the hardest things in the world, especially if you don't have a lot of support financially or otherwise. Just believing in yourself and putting yourself out there is probably one of the hardest things that you will ever do in your life. And so I had that weighing on me, plus I had the financial thing weighing on me. And as I would go to work in that office apartment thing, right? It was pretty gross. They were like, I would have to clean up. There were always like baby roaches. The guy was a mess, and I was there to like organize his files, and I hated it. And it was 2 days a week, and I remember I would walk in. He paid well, that's why I did it. I walked in, and as I was walking there, I would walk by a fashion school, FIT, and I would stare at them, and they would, you know, be hanging out with their coffee, talking to each other, wearing their cute little fashionista outfits. And to me, every time I looked at them, I saw, oh my God, they have a clear path. They know exactly what they're doing. They're going through that school, and they're going to know when they get out, I'm going to do this and get a job. It was a very clear path. And I started thinking about myself, and I had always been very into fashion, and, you know, I styled on my friends, and I drew clothes from, like, as soon as I could hold a pencil, I was drawing. And I've said and done a lot. I'm sorry. I'm telling this spur of the moment. Okay. So I would draw clothes, and I really felt like I loved fashion, but I always felt like it was for me, and I didn't quite understand what that feeling was. But people would always say, you should be a fashion designer. You should be a fashion designer. Oh my God, you should be a fashion designer. So good, blah, 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 blah. And I'd be like, thanks so much, but I do this for me. And I didn't realize what that was. So at this point, you know, after working with cockroaches, doing fashion for others started to become really appealing. And I was looking at it like, oh my gosh, that is a clear, easy path to the success that I want, right? It's creative, it'll be fun, it'll be glamorous, all of that stuff that people think when they're getting into fashion. And little did I know that by choosing that, I was choosing out of fear. I was choosing out of fear because I was so scared about following what I really wanted to do, about showing up as who I really was, that I chose what I thought would be the easier path. Okay, it turns out that it was actually really fucking hard. When you are not living aligned with who you really are, that is when you are choosing from fear. Things get really hard. They get messy. It feels like a struggle. It drains your energy. And this happened to me in every single way, physically, emotionally, mentally. I was not being who I was by doing this, even though I had a very successful career. That's how I started, using the law of attraction so deliberately throughout my career, and it was working. But like I say, you have to be clear on your intention up front, right? How you want to feel up front. And I didn't follow that. I thought I want to be rich and do cool things with fashion. I wasn't focusing on why. And if I focused on why, I would have seen that was not the right path for me, that I was choosing that path out of fear, that I was not clear on what I wanted to feel by being a fashion designer, which was very different, and why I wanted to be a star. There was a feeling attached to that, right? I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be adored. I wanted to be known, right? So that's really what I was craving. That's really what I was craving behind stardom. And fashion to me felt like an easy way to get to what I thought I was craving, which was the success. And it turns out it was really goddamn hard. So if you get clear on why you want something, when you're faced with a decision, when you are faced with a choice, and this goes for every single decision, I am so intentional in every decision that I make. When you get clear on first the why, what will this do for me? What is the emotional experience that I am craving? Get clear on that first. See if then the choice is going to be made from a place of love or fear, right? Am I trying to get away from something? Am I afraid something is going to happen if I don't choose this, something bad? Am I afraid I'm going to be wrong? Am I afraid I'm going to make a mistake? These are all choosing out of fear. Does this bring me joy? That is choosing out of love. Will this take me and lead me to where I really want to go, to what I really want to feel? That is honoring what you want, that is being true to you, and that is choosing out of love. That's accepting what you really want, accepting who you really are, and honoring all of that about you, honoring your desires, what they really are, honoring your emotions. That is choosing out of love. Okay, this was a big beach rant. I hope it was helpful. If you have questions, post them below, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Thanks so much for watching. If you want more, you can sign up at SusanF.com. A Law of Attraction series that comes out weekly, and I will also be here with more Manny tips for the month of May, which are manifesting tips. And get on the list for easypeasyloa.com, which is launching super soon, and there's an awesome free training with that. And I'm also doing something really fun this time for the launch, which I'm going to announce in a few days, so get on the list to know about that. And again, I will talk to you soon. Bye, have a good day.